Hello, everyone. How are you? Just finished watching Alone, season 11, episode 2. New episode was up. It wasn't on last week. It's on this week. We meet the final 5 contestants of the season. There's 10. You first up, we meet Peter. He's 43 years old. He's from British Columbia, Canada, and I felt bad for him a lot because on the first day he suffered shock drop syndrome is when you get dropped off in a new surrounding area, nothing you don't know about the place, and it overwhelms you. You get worked up, nervous, like where the hell am I? Where is everybody? That happened to him for the first day. On day 2, he's better, but I felt sorry for him because it took him 12 hours to get the campfire going. He was struggling with that. He was trying different pieces of wood, different branches. He didn't know what was going on, but he finally got the campfire going. Then he spent the last 3 days of the 5-day journey building his shelter, which is shaped like a dome. Like a big, like just picture like a big old bowling ball out there. Like that kind of shape of a shelter. That's pretty badass. That's the first time watching it alone. I've seen people build teepee shelters like a square, rectangle. Never a shelter shaped like a dome. That's awesome. He took some spruce trees, lined them up like a platform, bent some branches around like a hula hoop shape, and all that. He said it's gonna take me a while to get the shelter finished, but he said once it's done, it's gonna look badass, and I agree with him. We meet Jake. He is actually I didn't catch where he's from, unfortunately. He loves to hunt. He's a pro fisherman, fly fishing style. Um, like my uncle, he's awesome at fly fishing. This guy is too, apparently. And he is a 15 years bird expert. He knows effing noble birds. What to eat, where you find them mostly at, stuff like that. What color the feathers are, how sharp the beak is, what some birds eat, what some birds don't eat. Um, he's the intro picture I have of the video, by the way. Him with one of his pet birds he has at home. He had a wife and 3 kids. His wife, he said, unfortunately, got sick and tired of him spending all the time bird watching, hunting outdoors, and fishing all the time, so she divorced him over it. So he's kind of pissed off about that, he said. So he wants to win the $500,000 to rub it in her face that he won A, $500,000, and B, shows her to show her that, hey, see what my skills can help me do? And that he also wants to get full custody of the 3 kids, not share custody. The first day he was tracking through thick underbrush and all that. He forgot to zipper up all the departments in his duffel bag, and he lost his fire starter and his fishing line. So he had to make a fishing net out of mason twine. He set that up in the lake. He checked it on day 5, no luck. And he struggled as well getting a campfire going because he lost his fire starter. So he had to use the metal piece of his belt buckle. But he did something that was cool. He took a log made out of birch, and he dug inside of it to make it like hollow. And he put all like the grass, a bunch of twigs and that in there, and he started the fire up in that. And then he put like a cover around it. So he said that keeps it nice and warm. So whenever he's out and about, if he's struggling to get a campfire going again, he can just pop that sucker off, and the fire will still be going inside and that. So that's pretty neat. I like that. That was cool. We meet Sarah. She's 48 years old from Alaska, so she's new to the cold environment and stuff like that. Her and her husband own a fishing lodge. They want to retire, so that's why she wants to win the money. She's built her shelter like a teepee style, and it's freaking massive, man, and height wise. Then she put a bunch of logs and branches around it, tying them together with twigs and stuff like that. Putting dirt, moss, you name it, around like all the gaps and that to keep the cold air from getting inside. Then she was out and about checking out these fresh grizzly tracks. She got excited because there was a lot of fresh sign there, and she saw a beaver in the water. So she fired it with a bow and arrow, and the beaver went right under the water. So she didn't know if she got it or not. So she took off her shirt, took off her boots, took off her socks, and dove in the lake. And she came back up, and apparently she missed the beaver. She did retrieve the arrow, no, but she lost the beaver. So before she got hypothermia, she quickly got out of the lake, got the clothes back on, started a campfire to warm up. That was her 5-day journey. There we meet Dusty. He's pretty cool. He's from Arkansas. I love his accent. He's cool. He spent the first 3 days eating berries. He wants blueberries. He loves blueberries, but there was no blueberries yet where he's at. So he ate the rose hips. He gathered a bunch of those, put them like in a camouflage storage bag, knapsack he had with him. Gathered up some berries. Because, hey, winter's coming soon. He said, I want to be prepared to last the long term. He said, if I can't get meat and all that with the snow around, I got berries to keep me going. He set up some snares, caught a squirrel. He ate that right up, enjoyed that meal. And then he showed us like what he brought for items and stuff. And he's working on his shelter. He decided there was a nice thick area of woods, and the wind seems to be coming from behind him, not towards him. So he's building his shelter so like the wind would be coming from behind. It's basically like it's rectangle shape, and he's got like overhang, so kind of like the shelter goes up like this, then down. Then he's got a tarp over it, some logs stacked around, fastened together. He's made a platform, so he's got something nice to sleep on with some moss and all that, patted down. That was his 5-day journey. Then the last contestant to talk about is Timber. He is from. He's 45 years old. He's from Indiana. He's anti-pro government. He hates anything to do with the government. He said that right off the get-go. He has spent all his life living off the grid, living off the world. He has a group of people he's with that's anti-government. He met his wife and kids that way. They go around traveling a lot, visiting different places, helping people out, trying to teach them how to survive off the grid, stuff like that. He got his nickname Timber because for 3 years he was a lumberjack. His real name's Timony, but everybody calls him Timber. He has a weird ritual. He caught a squirrel. He shot a bow and arrow. And then he used some of the squirrel meat to catch a 25-inch beautiful pike fish by casting fish line and the squirrel meat in the water back and forth. And he cooked that up, cleaned and all that. So he has the ritual is he has a tattoo on his arm. And he said, every animal I kill, I have to touch the tattoo for good luck. He's like superstitious that kind of way. He decided not to work on his shelter for the first 5 days. He just made a makeshift shelter for right now. On day 5, he was out and about, and he spotted a moose 500 yards away from him. He got his bow and arrows ready, and also he has like these arrowhead tips, like purple and white, orange and white, yellow, neon colors. He said they're gonna be easier to find in the thick brush and all that. So he snuck up across onto the moose. Like he crawled around the brush, made sure not to snap any twigs and that. He kept the wind away from him. He did some moose calls. He stood down and waited, and eventually the moose got up and started walking to him. So he's like, okay, it's close enough now. He fired twice at the moose. The first time, the arrow went under the moose, and the moose took off and ran into the thick brush. He fired a second time, and it hit a twig. It got stuck in a branch, so he missed out. So he spent the last moments of the episode debating whether or not to tap out, because I'm buried here for 5 days. That's probably the only time I'm going to get a big game animal. I screwed up on it. I missed twice with the bow and arrow. He said maybe I shouldn't continue. So that's how the episode ends. So we don't know if Timber has quit, tapped out or not. He's going to tough it out. Next week's episode, it shows somebody's eating fish. And then all of a sudden they vomit in the water and they call for medical and shows a boat coming. So somebody apparently cooked some fish and they cook it right or something and got food poisoning. We don't know who that is yet, unfortunately. And we still don't know if Timber is going to tough it out, like I said, or is he going to call it quits after missing out on that big ass moose. That was one big ass moose he missed out on. There we have it, folks. We still got 9 contestants in on Alone Season 11 there. Stay safe, everybody. Too so we bye.